Look at those dirty arms.
Ew.
What are you doing?
Bungee.
Bunging.
Tarping.
Hauling beaver biscuits. Who says truckers don't get dirty? Look at them pipes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jamie and I finally got loaded up here at Meadow Lake. Oh, boy, is it hot.
Are you ready to go? I can pull up a little bit for you.
No, that's alright, sweetheart. I'm just doing up my paperwork and stuff like that here before I go.
I guess I better finish mine.
Anyway, yeah, we finally finished up loading here. We had to tarp Jamie's load. Oh, what a bunch of BS. She's going down to Oklahoma.
I got one of those chompers in here.
Better kill it. When she means by chompers, there's freaking horse flies up here like crazy, and we've been getting bit by them left, right, and center. And ugh, I can't wait to get out of here. Get down south. We're too far north. Too many bugs. I had one bite me on the shoulder, and it's like, ugh. I'm gonna need a double barrel shotgun right away. But yeah, so Jamie and I just finished loading. She's heading down to Oklahoma City. I'm heading over to somewhere in South Dakota. So I got a short run again. But in the meantime, I am going to take tomorrow. We're going to be helping Joe Jansen polish his truck up tomorrow. Tonight, we're finishing up the stereo in my truck in at the spa there with Grovit. And then we're going to get Dean's fiberglass fenders shipped off to him out of from my place. I've got his fenders sitting there. And we're going to get a bunch of our polishing gear ready because we got the Winkler truck show coming up, and it's going to be a big party when we get back from the States. It's going to be great. Can't wait to show you guys. You guys are going to have a blast. You smell what?
Your fucking sandwich.
So, I was on my way to the spa.
Spa spot.
Yeah, spa spot. Gypsy decided she didn't want to go all the way. We are in the process of changing the thermostats because it decided it wanted to run a little warm. So I had to call the spa spot to come out on a service call. Yeah, not quite like servicing hot tubs, but
Same time, it's not much different. Take parts off, put parts on. Things with threads go round and round. It's all the same.
and I'm eating a freaking sandwich. A nuke and puke. We're gonna attempt to drain some coolant without it draining all over the ground. We got 2 little jugs, and we got a drip tray over there. It's gonna be interesting. Know what you're doing?
Yep. I'm undoing shit.
Hello, it's once again 2:30 in the morning, kind of night. I've had one heck of a day. Started with Jamie and I heading up to Meadow for some beaver biscuits. Her load had to be tarp. She's on her way to Oklahoma City right now. She made her all the way down to the border already today. And me, I didn't pan out so well. I I got loaded up and coming out of Meadow, and I noticed that my truck was running a little on the warm side, and I mean it was plus 30 degrees Celsius, and so I figured, well, you know, it's a pretty hard pull coming out of Meadow there, and you know, maybe with the heat and the bugs up there were insane. So I mean, I was only running like 210 degrees with the fan on all the time. So I thought, well, maybe it's just hot and pulling hard, and pulled into a little pull out there alongside the road, and my bug screen was just caked in bugs, so I cleaned it all up, got going, and temperature stayed up there, and I was like, ooh, man. So I was planning on meeting Grovit there from the spa spot, and so I cut across over to Turtleford from Glassland. This is all in Saskatchewan, by the way, if anybody is really interested in looking up where exactly I was. But so I started running 200 on my temperature, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm not even working it hard. You know, I'm feathering the throttle and babying it along, and I'm like, man, something's definitely got to be wrong here. I ended up in between Glassland and Turtleford. I had to stop twice to let it cool down, and like even when I pulled over, it wouldn't even cool down. I got the fan on, tried high idling it, tried low idling it, and eventually got to the point where, you know, I'd have to shut it off, and so that it would come down below 200. You know, spend some time on the side of the road. Gotta love that. And eventually I got it finally limped into Turtleford there, and I kind of figured, well, maybe it's a thermostats, and this is like right at 5 o'clock, of course. So I start calling around, and Lloyd, Kenworth and Lloyd was open till 7 o'clock, so I was able to order, I got 2 thermostats. They had them in stock, all the new gaskets and everything, and send Brendan over there, drove it, and he picked everything up, got a couple cases of coolant, and he's bombing out to Turtleford. Saved my ass again. Thermostats. I've done 2 thermostats on the side of the road with that guy. But one was in the Snot Rocket here this spring. But anyway, I start ripping the truck apart, and he shows up, and there's this tube that comes off of, like I didn't have anything to catch coolant, so I was leaving all the coolant lines alone. I was getting the alternator off and air-to-air lines off, and oh, it was a great time. Anyway, Brendan shows up, and we got some buckets and stuff to catch coolant, and the one line that's the draw line that goes directly to your water pump, we loosen the clamp off of that, and we're getting ready to pull it apart, and you know, we got our buckets and everything there, and we don't want to make a mess, and he quickly pulls it off, and nothing happens. We're like, what the heck? There's no freaking coolant coming out of there, and the reservoir was right full. I already double checked that. So we got no coolant coming out of the line that goes directly to the water pump. It's dry. Well, not like bone dry, but you know, there's nothing in there. We're like, there's something haywire. How in the heck does this hose get plugged? And Brendan blew in the hose back into the reservoir, and he's like, man, there is something blocking that. So we pull the elbow off at the bottom of the reservoir there, and as we pull it off, or we pulled the line off, not the elbow, we pulled the line off first, and there's this freaking weird spring hanging out, and it's still no coolant. So we're like, well, let's pop the line off. And meanwhile, I'm talking with my buddy Matt, my old mechanic there, before he decided to go into bigger and better things. And he's like, I know exactly what that spring is. It's some stupid thing that's on the inside of your cap. This is a brand new, well, the radiator is about a year old in it, and I have never taken the cap off, and I've never seen any spring or anything attached to it. So I'm not too sure how this thing got in there or what exactly happened, but anyway, it was in there, and it ended up plugging the elbow at the bottom of the reservoir tank, so it wasn't letting any coolant go into my motor, and that is why I was running hot. So now I got brand new thermostats somewhere in here on my bed, and yeah, I guess they're gonna go on the shelf. Well, I think it's probably a good idea if I carry them, because like Brendan says, if you're ever gonna need them, it's not gonna be at home in the shop. It's gonna be on the side of the road somewhere. So I'm gonna try and find a nice, safe place to put them. Spent $300 freaking on my thermostats, basically for nothing. Gasket kits. I think the thermostats were only $160 or something like that. So anyway, that was our exciting, awesome day. And yeah, now I'm finally back in Saskatoon. Something that should have taken me only 8 hours max, freaking took forever. So yeah, and I grabbed Tim Hortons when I was coming through North Battleford. Apparently it's a roll up the rim to win, and I wanted to see if I won anything. I don't know, these are new. I don't know if anybody from down south is watching this. They won't have a clue what the heck this is, but it's a coffee shop, and it says Happy Canada 150. The hell is that supposed to mean? Did I win anything? Well, that's lame. But yeah. Anyhow, I am dirty as all heck, and I am gonna run in for a shower and do it all again tomorrow. Hang loose, guys.